24 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Yesterday we had a gig over in Daytona. And after the gig, I hadn't been to the beach in so long. So I said to Robin, I said, yeah, you mind if we just take a time? Let's go over to the beach. I haven't seen the beach in forever. I grew up on Long Island. I grew up like 8 miles from the beach up there in New York. And so I kind of was very, very familiar with being at the ocean. You grew up in Milwaukee, so I know the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan is like an ocean.
It is,
right? I mean, it doesn't. For all intents and purposes, it looks like an ocean, right? Mm-hmm. You can't see land on the other side from your vantage point.
No.
I remember the first time I went to L.A. I met a guy from Red Key, Indiana, which I don't know exactly where Red Key is, but apparently he had never seen a body of water large enough that you could not see across it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And when he first saw the Pacific Ocean, he was so in awe. And the reason I was with him when he saw that, even though I didn't really know him, is because he started working. This was when I was a kid. We were working at this pizza place on the beach. And so he first saw the beach, and he said he couldn't believe how big the ocean was. I said, really? I've grown up with it. So yesterday, we're at the ocean again for the first time in a long time. And I'm standing there, and I'm thinking, all the animals that are out there, all the underwater animals, mm-hmm. right? And all of the boats that are out there right now at any given time, and all the boats that are under the water.
Oh, yeah.
That we don't know about. Remember there was a story about some gold pieces that washed up on shore in South Florida after a hurricane?
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
I never really knew if that was true. I think it was a true story, but I don't know. Kait Carson is on the phone. She is, listen to this. She must have all sides of her brain working. She's a paralegal. Mm-hmm. Paralegal, that's one side of the brain. She's an author. That's got to be another side of the brain.
Exactly.
A creative person, right?
Exactly.
Her book is called Death by Sunken Treasure, but she's also an animal rescuer. Mm-hmm. I think that's the heart that thinks that way. And a scuba diver, so she probably would have loved to be standing out there looking at the ocean with us yesterday. No, she probably would have preferred to be in it.
In it, yes.
Death by Sunken Treasure. Kait Carson. Good morning, Kait.
Hi, good morning.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I actually live in Hendry County, which is splat in the middle of the state.
Splat?
Splat.
What state is that?
Florida.
Oh, Florida. Oh, you're in Florida. Okay.
You can tell we're a famous county down here, right?
Yeah. So I can't tell what you look like. You got a mask on your face. I'm looking at your picture, but you've got a mask. You must love it underwater, huh?
I do. If there were some way to have gills implanted that actually worked, I would be the first one in line. It's just it's a very relaxing, wonderful atmosphere for me.
Gills? Imagine that, gills.
Yeah.
There's an invention for you. Your whole brain is working. I'm sure you can come up with something.
Unfortunately, when it comes to science and math, no.
Oh, no, really? By the way, the animal rescuer part of your biography, tell me about that a little bit.
I actually right now have 6 cats and 4 birds, and if you hear something that screams, that's the macaw.
Does it talk? Does it say words?
It does. It mostly says bye-bye, cracker, and night-night. And it yells out the name Larry.
It does?
Yes, it does.
Why, do you have a Larry in your life?
No, I don't. But the first owner of the bird was named Larry.
Oh, really?
And it will bark like a dog.
Arf, arf, Larry! Arf, arf. That sounds like what I go through every day. Oh, speaking of dogs, did you happen to see this story? And not to be a sad story, but it's got a happy ending for this one dog. Anyway, it's a 2-year-old golden retriever, I think, named Chi-Chi, rescued from a South Korean butchery. It's now in the loving family of a family in Phoenix, Arizona, and has 4 prosthetic legs because the way that I know this is going to make you sad and grossed out, the way that the butcher prepares dog meat is they hang the dogs live by all 4 feet.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And then and they whip them because it makes the meat tender while they're still alive.
Oh.
And in this dog's case, all 4 legs became infected, so that means it's no good for consumption. So he takes it off the thing that he hangs them from, puts it in a trash bag, throws it in the garbage. Still alive. And these people found it in the garbage pail, and rescued it. Didn't think they could save its life, but they did. And now the dog has 4 prosthetic legs, and it just has the happiest face. Like, oh, look at me, I'm alive. And,
Right.
and I have a family who loves me, and I've got a beautiful face and a beautiful demeanor. It's just, I don't know. Animals are amazing.
They are
They
amazing.
are pure love.
Are you a vegetarian?
No, I should be, but I'm not.
See, that's what I always think. I love animals so much. Why do I eat some of them,
Well, I couldn't participate in the making of the food part, but it seems to me once that's done, I've kind of managed to rationalize the rest.
Yeah, well, plus it tastes good.
True.
So tell me about your work as an author. How long ago did you start writing?
That's kind of hard to say. I started when I was in 4th grade, but obviously that was not the quality that was going to go anyplace. I seriously started writing books, maybe 10 years ago. And I now have 4 books out, and Death by Sunken Treasure is the latest
Well,
of
good
them.
for you. And is Death by Sunken Treasure, it says a Hayden Kent mystery novel. Is Hayden Kent a protagonist that you've had before?
Yes, she's introduced in the first book, which is called Death by Blue Water. I almost forgot the title there. Death by Blue Water.
Well, you really are an adventurer. I mean, these books you have written have got to be based on actual characters. I mean, gosh, you cooked on a freighter in the Caribbean. I mean, what kind of stories could really come out of that? They must be fabulous.
It was a lot of fun, and especially since when I signed the biggest lie in my life. Someone once said, "What is the biggest lie in your life?"
Biggest lie.
The biggest lie. And the biggest lie I ever told anyone was the captain on that freighter. I told him I could cook. And I was in college. I couldn't boil water.
Who'd you cook for?
The entire crew of the freighter.
All men?
No, actually it wasn't. This was a while ago. People were seeing the world. And no, it was a mixed crew. And it was great fun. And I learned. By the time I got off of that boat, give me 3 ingredients, I will make you a meal.
Wow.
So you learned the hard way, but you learned.
I did learn the hard way. They were very nice. There was one man, he was Venezuelan, and he liked to eat, and he figured, I got to take this one under my wing, and he taught me how to cook. Now, don't forget, we're in a boat. Everything is on gimbals.
On what?
Gimbals, so that it stays level when the boat pitches and yaws.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that word is. Gimbals.
Gimbal, helps you stay straight.
I thought that was a department store in New York. Gimbals.
That
It used to be. I was from New Jersey originally.
But this really makes for a fascinating adventure because your characters in your book, Death by Sunken Treasure, they persevere and they overcome obstacles while working together, and that's tough.
Yes, it absolutely is tough, and there's also an emotional component in this because the murdered character, the victim, is actually Hayden's best friend's son.
Oh, okay.
An emotional book it's an emotional story as well as being a murder mystery story.
All right, let's be fair to the listeners who want to know about the book because we've been fascinated with Kait Carson herself. Now we're going to take a little break, and on the other side of the break, we'll learn more about the book. The book is called Death by Sunken Treasure. It's a Hayden Kent mystery novel. Kait Carson, just hang in there just a little bit. We'll take a little break and be right back with this conversation, okay?
I'll be here.
And we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Some sunshine this Thursday with a shower or thunderstorm in the area this afternoon, high 81 to 85. Thursday night will be mostly cloudy with a shower or thunderstorm, low 65 to 69. On Good Friday, clouds and breaks of sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around, especially in the afternoon at the coast, the high 81 to 85. Saturday, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 79 to 83. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. It's time to get that new look started. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon, 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with the Brazilian smoothing treatment. And whether you're going on a job interview or out on a date, your hands do a lot of talking. Manicures are a must. Hello Gorgeous is a full-service salon, so let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too.
Hello, gorgeous.
Easter's on the way, and now is the time to order your honey-baked ham with all the fixins. Maybe an 8-pound half ham plus 3 heat-and-serve sides and a delicious pie for just $79.99. Maybe you prefer turkey. Come in or call 861-0011 to mix and match your main course, sides, and, of course, dessert. Honey-baked ham and cafe is located at 2709 Southwest 27th Avenue in Ocala, behind Best Buy. You enjoy the day by allowing honey-baked ham to do the work, and you take the credit. That number again, 861-0011.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
WWWOCA,
Be sure to tune in to Ocala's longest-running morning radio talk show.
AM Ocala Live from 7 a.m. till noon, weekdays.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
WOCA.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. Kate Carson is on the phone in, oh gosh, what county was it again, Robin?
Oh, I can't remember the county.
Hendry County, right? Am I remembering right, Kate?
You've got it.
So you've got quite a biography here. It says you were on a lot of airplanes, it sounds like. You're on a freighter. And you got a new guy in your life, is that right?
No, not really a new guy. He's my husband.
Oh, he's your husband. Okay. So he's not a new guy. All right. So how long have you been married?
About 10 years.
10 years. Oh, no wonder you say he's not a new guy. Okay. But he's a pilot.
Yes, he is, and we do own an airplane, which is why we live in Hendry County. We live in an air park. So
oh, you do?
Fly in and out, yes.
One of the owners of this station is a pilot, and he was talking about something coming up soon, the
Yes.
Sun and the Fun. Are you going to that?
Fun and Fun Air Show.
No, we won't be going to that. We've been in prior years, and it's massive. It's huge, and I like smaller events.
So you were a beer tender, a bartender or something at one time?
That was just kind of a sideline. It was something everybody sort of did in college. Tending bar, yes.
All right, so let's talk about the book, because that's what the audience wants to know about. They love to hear about you too. So domestic ransom. Oh, I'm sorry. Death by Sunken Treasure. I looked at the wrong notes. Death by Sunken Treasure. Tell me how this idea. Well, how did the character Hayden Kent come to you first? That's in an earlier book.
Yes, Hayden Kent was actually born in a place called Wallagrass, Maine, and I was living up there. We have a place up there, and it was 40 below, and I wanted to go diving. And I was looking at my dive books. Of course, I don't dive in anything more than 79 degrees. And I was looking through my dive books, and I remembered a dive that I had taken on a boat called the Thunderbolt. And while I was down at depth at about 80 feet, a plastic bag floated out. And it startled me, because you don't really expect that. And
Right.
I also thought, that could be a hand. And
Oh
I
my
had written
gosh.
all that down in my dive log. Never thought about it again. And then when I came back and was living my past,
Right.
found that, and I thought, what a great story.
A
So
hand.
A hand,
Oh,
which
wow.
obviously had to come from someplace.
That would have been nasty. Yeah. All right. So that's how this started, with a plastic bag that you thought could have been a hand.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating. And so you took that. And you built on that.
I did, and made Death by Blue Water. And, of course, the hand in Death by Blue Water is attached to a body. And the body is something that Hayden finds on a dive on a boat called the Humboldt, which is based on the Thunderbolt. And that's a real dive. You can do it anytime you want to go to 120 feet. And it's just the way that it was seen at the time made it an obvious choice.
So Hayden has to figure out how the death occurred, right? And the sunken treasure part, the death by sunken treasure. That would be me. I would be down there and say, "Oh, look at all this gold. Let me put it in my pockets," and then I wouldn't be able to get to the surface, and I'd be dead.
You'd be able to get to the surface. It's kind of hard to find all that gold. Actually, the wreck was in the first book. That was the story of the first book with the hand floating out. Death by Sunken Treasure came with a visit to Pigeon Key. And I looked at, there's a wooden walkway that goes down to Pigeon Key from the old 7 Mile Bridge.
Oh, I know Pigeon Key. I'm familiar with that area. Yeah, I never knew the story though behind the name. Is that what they did? They allowed pigeons to live there?
No, actually, Pigeon Key was a settlement when Flagler built his railroad. The railroad workers lived there, which is why it's located under a bridge. They built the bridge over the island.
And I've seen that wooden walkway too. I never really knew what that was.
At one time, an old 7 Mile Bridge was the only way down. You could actually drive down there, and it was a research center. And the walkway is still there, and it's been there since, I want to say the turn of the century. So I'm not sure how safe it is. But it's still in use, but only by foot. And I looked over the edge of the bridge, and I saw some trash laying underneath this very elaborate structure that holds up the walkway. And, of course, to me, that became a body.
Oh, gosh. Well, one of the wonderful things about your book is that you really didn't have to go out to research on the legal aspects and things like that, because you actually live that part of your life and the diving and everything with your history. But I'm sure there must have been a little bit more research involved to make everything come together, even though you are so knowledgeable in these fields.
Well, I did have to do extensive research on what happens with treasure and salvage, because that's an ever-evolving area of the law. There are a lot of treasure ships off the coast, and I heard you discussing the gold coins that had washed up.
Right. Remember them?
I do remember them. That was near Vero Beach, and it happens quite frequently there. There's something offshore there that's not too terribly deep, I would think.
And nobody knows about it? Oh, my gosh. You should go swimming down there.
My father used to say that. Why have you never found anything? There's a problem with that. The state pretty much owns everything these days, and you salvage under very, very, very controlled.
Don't tell him. Just put it in your pocket, go to a pawn shop, and say, "I don't know, I just found it in my uncle's closet."
Oh, yes. I could just see that happening. I would be caught. I can get away with nothing.
So as a paralegal, does your knowledge of the law help you write a more believable book?
In this case, it did, because it dealt with an area I'm familiar with. It dealt with probate and wills. And although I've never had anything like this happen, I've never been presented with two wills that were signed on the same day and had to figure out which one was which one and go through the review process and stuff. It is something that I know can happen and that I'm sure has happened, and there's probably case law on it. So, yes, it was easier from that aspect. I do know the processes of the probate.
Do you ever scare yourself when you're creating some of the more dastardly characters in your book?
I'm sorry?
Do you ever scare yourself when you create some of the bad guy characters in your book? Because, on the news you hear all of this not so good stuff that's going on about attackers and robbers and things like that. So once you get into this frame of mind to do your book, there must be some scary moments for you.
That's a very interesting question. And yes, the answer is yes, there are. And that's because when you write a book, or at least when I write a book, I become so immersed in it that it's almost as if I'm watching a movie. So it can, even though I'm dealing with another character, it's as if I'm watching something happen to them. But the emotions, to be able to write the emotions, you almost have to feel them. So yes, I do.
Gosh.
Did you include a romance in the book?
There is a romance in the book. It's a budding romance, yes.
A budding romance.
Those are harder to write, though, I think.
I'm not sure. I think they're more interesting to write because it creates a lot of tension and creates conflict. And I think it's more interesting to write a budding romance than it is a full-fledged romance.
And do you get feedback from readers who help you understand what kinds of things your readers are interested in reading?
Yes, I do, especially on the blogs and through the Facebook pages. And my email address is out there, and I welcome anyone to contact me. I do, and I enjoy that. I like the back and forth with the readers. To me, that's part of the lifeblood. It's entertainment, and an entertainer wants to know they're entertaining.
And you deal with loss between a parent and her child, even though the child is an adult, and that's a really hard subject to broach.
It is, and the book is dedicated to a woman by the name of Jean Raines. And Jean Raines was like a second mother to me, and she lost her son. He died in her arms.
Oh,
and
man.
The circumstances are completely different. There's no resemblance at all. But I did want to explore some of that emotion and see how that could be brought to a book and used. And it was also an emotional catharsis for me, I think, as well.
The book is called Death by Sunken Treasure. It's a Hayden Kent mystery. It's written by Kait Carson, K-A-I-T. Carson is spelled C-A-R-S-O-N. If you're looking for Kait on Amazon and the other places, I'm sure you can find it by using her name. And I have a copy that was sent to me, so if you call me right now, I'll put your name on it, and it'll be waiting for you. The rest of us have to go buy it. What would you suggest? Go to Amazon, or do you go to your website? And do you have a website, Kait?
I do have a website. It's currently under construction. My husband is my website builder, so I'm sort of like the cobbler's child.
Oh, boy. You better tell him to hurry up. You're doing radio interviews. You got to get that thing up and running.
I know.
You do have a Facebook page. Though,
Tell him
correct?
I'm gonna drive him nuts because you're gonna play this interview back after you hear the recording, and your macaw, is it a macaw?
It is a macaw.
Larry. I'm gonna get the bird to say my name over and over. Larry. He's gonna drive your husband nuts. Okay, so the best way to get the book is Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or just a bookstore, any bookstore.
Correct. All of the above.
Okay.
And if they don't have it for some reason, it's through Henry Press. They can certainly order it.
Henry Press. How do you spell Henry?
H-E-N-E-R-Y.
Oh, Henry. H-E-N-E-R-Y. Okay.
And can we find you on Facebook?
Absolutely. Kait Carson and Kait Carson author.
Well, I'm going to do that right now and become a friend or whatever you do. I'll like it or a friend. Or Kait, you're delightful. If you're ever in Ocala or Marion County, come in and say hi, and we'll do another interview. That'd be fun.
I would be happy to do so. Thank you for having me. It's just been wonderful.
Thank you. If you find any gold, post it on your Facebook page. I'm going to be a friend. All right, we'll be right back. Thank you, Kait.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. We're getting more details on warnings that the Belgian government had concerning airport attack suspect Ibrahim al-Bakari.
And he was detained and then ultimately deported. Turkish officials say that they warned Belgian officials that they had not only detained him, but red flagged him as a militant, as possibly a terror suspect.
Fox's John Huddy, a Philadelphia daycare owner discovering a 3-year-old gnawing on what would be later determined to be a package of crack cocaine.
Sarita Thompson said she noticed the child chewing, but they had not been served breakfast yet. So she checked and found a packet in her mouth. Thompson says she immediately called authorities and then rushed the child to the hospital. Police say she saved the little girl's life.
Jeanette Wilson with Fox affiliate WTXF. And first-time jobless claims last week rising to 265,000. Fox News, we report, you decide.
When it comes to commercial vehicles, it's time to drill down to the details. If you're not driving the new Sprinter Worker from Mercedes-Benz, your van just isn't cutting it. The Sprinter Worker takes payload up a notch, carrying up to 3,512 pounds. Its cargo volume is cranked up too, with over 300 cubic feet of space. When it comes to safety, it's unmatched, but it's the price that'll really hammer it home. The new Sprinter Worker starts at just $32,495. It also has a service interval of up to 20,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. Put that in your pipe and weld it. Huge capacity, small price, starting at just $32,495. The all-new Sprinter Worker, starting at only $32,495. Mercedes-Benz, vans born to run.
MSRP for a 2016 Sprinter Worker excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Today in Florida Ag News from the Southeast AgNet, the American Farm Bureau Federation, AFBF, is asking farmers from across the country to complete a 6-minute online survey about big data, but they would like to have it completed by March 31st. Big data refers to information collected by high-tech tractors, tilling equipment, planters, sprayers, harvesters, and agricultural unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs. A follow-up to the 2014 initial Big Data survey, this questionnaire asked about farmers' attitudes towards and concerns about big data and precision technologies. AFBF's Mary Kay Thatcher said, "We thought re-asking some of those questions would give us some indication about whether we've made any progress in the last 18 months and would provide insight into new issues." Now, results from the 2014 survey showed over 75% of respondents fear regulators or government officials could access farm data without permission and were concerned others could use the information for commodity market speculation. However, the survey also showed farmers who use precision technology saw decreased costs for seed, fertilizer, and pesticides with an average increase in crop yields of 13%. To learn more about this survey, go to our website at southeastagnet.com.
Beef and dairy producers, we are committed to producing the safest, highest quality food for folks here in the U.S. and around the world. This is Baxter Black, here to remind you that your beef quality assurance program plays a big role in leading the way to identifying the best practices, like cattle handling techniques, to produce safe, wholesome beef from pasture to plate. So learn more by visiting bqa.org. Paid for by the Beef Checkoff.
Today's report was brought to you by your Beef Quality Assurance Program, BQA, keeping quality top of mind, building consumer trust through your commitment to quality. You can learn more at bqa.org. Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Hey, this is Dan. Let me ask you a few questions. Does your boat look better with the cover on? Has your car's interior seen its better days? Stop using a towel to cover up those rips in the golf cart. Isn't it about time you had it restored to better than new with a custom upholstery from Captain T? Captain T's Upholstery has been right here in Ocala for nearly 20 years, so they know how to make your ride one of a kind. Whether you want to take that classic ride back to a factory